So Riley, I heard your school started earlier this week. You obviously did all your studying and homework before you filmed this video, right? Yeah, that is totally what I did. Hey guys, welcome to Random Riley. Today I'm going to be reviewing, discussing, and having a mental breakdown over Ashen Winter by Mike Mullin. Now, for those of you who are really new around here, Ashen Winter is the sequel to my favorite book of all time, Ashfall. This book is currently a 3-book series. There is Ashfall, which I've already done a book review over, and I will leave a link to that video in the description if you want to check that out. And then there's Ashen Winter, which is the sequel, and then the third one is Sunrise. And then Mike is writing the fourth one called Blades of Spring. We have a release date for sometime in 2018. It's got a title last year and Mike's not done writing it. And I know all these things because I've been stalking his Twitter account waiting for him to tell us that, hey, guess what guys, I finally finished the book. But has he done that? No, he hasn't. This series follows a boy named Alex who was left home alone during the volcano eruption at Yellowstone, which covered the entire North America in ash and then sent the world into a seemingly eternal winter. And I'm going to be getting into some spoiler things right away. But first, this is just for the people who have only read Ashfall and have not read Ashen Winter, because I'm just going to talk about the in-between of Ashen Winter and Ashfall real quick. If you have not read Ashfall, then leave. But if you have read Ashfall and you haven't read Ashen Winter, then you can stay here for a little while. Ashen Winter picks up like 2 months after Ashfall ends. Ashen Winter is my least favorite book in the series, however, and it is the longest. It's like 575 pages. If you didn't read Ashfall, of course, I'm going to suggest for you to read Ashen Winter if you weren't certain about the series. This book made me very, very frustrated, but frustrated in a good way. Frustrated like, oh my god, Alex, why are you making that stupid decision? Although there are some of those moments, it's mainly like frustrated like, oh my god, why can't anything ever go good for us? So if you have read Ashfall, you should definitely pick Ashen Winter up. Obviously. If you have not read Ashen Winter at all, please leave now, because I really do not want to spoil you, because I don't want anyone to ever be spoiled for this wonderful, wonderful series. Alright, now for the die-hard Ashen fans. That's not what I'm calling us. What are we called? That's like 2 of us. What are we called? Alright, so let's start from the beginning with Ashen Winter. We start off with Alex and Darla at Uncle Paul's farm when the huge gunshot went off. How I read this is my 3rd reread of Ashen Winter, so it doesn't really count. How I read Ashen Winter the first time, that part made me lose it. I was crying in the car with my family because I had finished Ashen Winter on the drive to someplace and it was a family event, so I wasn't allowed to read any of it during that week. Even though I had the second one with me, I wasn't allowed to read it. So we got in the car on the way home. It's a 6-hour drive back home, and I opened the book and that happened and I sobbed. And my parents were like, oh, it's just normal. She does that kind of thing. Well, I was full out sobbing, not okay, because I was afraid that we got to the second book and it was just going to be horrible. We were finally safe and we weren't going to be safe any longer because now we're gonna have to go get Rebecca because Rebecca and Anna would have been stolen by these freaking cannibals. But luckily, because Darla and Alex are badasses, we did not have that problem and they beat up the bandits. Alex is stupid though. Again, he's like, I don't know what to do. I'll just run up to these bandits with no weapons, just my arms and my feet. I know Taekwondo. And then of course, Alex almost gets himself killed. Darla has to be a badass and save him. And then they find the shotgun, Blue Betsy. Then, because we found the shotgun, Alex and Darla are like, we can save Alex's parents. It will be fine. Honestly, would have been completely okay with us just staying on Punkle's farm and not going out to try to find Alex's mom and dad. That's where it starts to get crazy. The moment that we leave, we finally find Ed, who then tells Alex after he pays so many kale seeds. One of the most annoying things about Alex in this book is how he just throws kale seeds around. He's just like, and you get kale, and you get kale, everyone gets kale. So we finally find out that they got it from the camp. We know where they are. They're in the FEMA camp. We can find them and save them and we can be a happy family again. And Darla's just like, Alex, honey, I love you, but this isn't going to work. Remember when we almost died in that FEMA camp before? And Alex is like, oh, we'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Then there's like the thousands of problems. Then like almost again, immediately after they leave, they go to cross the Mississippi, attacked by more crazy people in this messed up world, and Darla falls into the Mississippi River with Bikezilla. Slow clap, for this genius plan that Darla and Alex came up with. They lose almost all of their supplies in this fall. BikeZilla, their only true mode of transportation, is lost in that freezing river that's colder than the Atlantic and Titanic. And then Darla nearly dies of hypothermia. Okay, Alex is actually me. Like, all the things that Alex does, I would totally do, which is why I get so frustrated with him. Out of all the time he was at Uncle Paul's farm, he never considered a way to make fire without flint and steel. I know he's never had this problem before, but I mean, he should have known it could have been a possibility if he's going back out at the ashfall. They figure out a way to make fire, which is actually really cool, and I'm so glad I read that part in the book, because now I know how to make a fire if I'm ever stuck in that situation. I don't know if I could ever actually make it work, because I don't know if I'd be able to find the right trees, but now I have that knowledge. That's the main reason I like Ashfall, is because it tells you this survival story, but it also tells you ways to survive in any situation, and it gives you like step-by-step details about how to do it, and I really, really like that about Mike's writing. And so they're finally warm, and then Alex is like, Darla, we are going back to Punkle's farm, because then we can be safe, and this is a stupid plan. And Darla's like, no, we've gone too far to turn back now. She's just like, let's go to Worthington. That's not too far away. It will be safe. Alex and Darla are on their merry way to Worthington, where they think they're gonna buy some supplies, and Darla can see her old pal Reed and Meg go back to Worthington, and they hear gunshots. And what do they find? They find an evil cannibal ambush. They have the worst luck. They go onto this overpass, and Alex is like, doop-da-doop-da-doop, I'm gonna see what's happening. And Darla's like, no, Alex, don't see what's happening. That's stupid. And he's like, no, it'll be fine, Darla. I know things. It's fine. I am the survivalist. I know how to do this. I've been in the ashfall before. It's fine. What does he do? He stands up on the overpass so that he is completely visible to the evil cannibals. Alex stands up on the overpass, gets shot at. Darla, who was trying to stand up and pull him back down so he won't get shot in the shoulder, and falls on top of the army truck of these evil freaking cannibals. Out of all of my reading experiences, the hundreds upon hundreds of books I've read, that is the most terrifying moment I have ever read. I don't even have words to describe how terrible it felt the first time I read that, and how terrible it feels every time I reread that part. It fills me with such terror. I can't breathe when I talk about that part or think about that part, because it's so terrifying. Alex is so distraught that he tries to go after her in the middle of this with no supplies. In this moment, I completely supported him, because I wanted to save Darla too, because Darla is the best, and she can't die. You hear me, Mike? If you're watching this, Darla cannot die. I won't let that happen. She can't die, okay? So then Alex finally gets back to Worthington and is like, screw this plan to save my parents, I'm going to save my girlfriend. This is where things start to go downhill. Alex tracks down these dirty white boys again, and then he thinks he sees Darla. Introduction to my least favorite character in this series. Actually, second least favorite character. I hate Bob Petty a lot more than I hate her. Alex tries to save this person that he thinks is Darla, but she's not Darla, she's Alyssa. I hate Alyssa. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for the things that Alyssa has gone through throughout her life, and I understand that she's not a bad person. It's just, she's tried to make out with Alex too many times for me to be okay with it. I understand that she thinks that she's in love with him, but he has said no so many times, but she continues to try, and every time I just want to push her over the bridge and into the frozen Mississippi River. Why would you think that it is okay to make that many advances on a person when they clearly say no so many times? And she just keeps trying, and I'm just like, oh my god. But when we get introduced to this horrible character, we also get introduced to my second favorite character in the series, Ben. Ben is the greatest person. He has some form of Asperger's, I'm pretty sure, so it makes him very sensitive to a bunch of different things. And I do praise Alyssa for taking care of her brother through this. I'm very proud of her for that, but she would stop making advances on Alex. Ben is my favorite. He's so knowledgeable about so many things, and he's so willing to help this random stranger. I love the connection that Ben and Alyssa have together. I love the brother-sisterly love that is shown throughout this series. After a lot of trekking through the Ashen Wilderness, we finally make it to the FEMA camp, where, surprise, surprise, we find Alex's parents, and then there's this huge, happy reunion, and we get introduced to another one of my least favorite characters, Alex's mom. The series has so many different kinds of characters, and none of them are like bad, terrible people, except for maybe one of them. People that make bad decisions with good intentions. Now, Alex's mom isn't that bad in the beginning. I just don't like Alex's mom because she insists that Alex doesn't know what love is, which makes me mad, especially in this Ashen Winter world. I understand he's a teenager, he probably actually doesn't know what love is. It doesn't matter in this Ashfall-ish world. People aren't going to live to be past 29. It's back to hunter-gathering times. We finally get to the FEMA camp and Alex is like, great, I found my family, now we can all go and get Darla once we figure out how to get out of this FEMA camp. Ben comes up with a plan, a very solid plan to get out of this FEMA camp, and when Alex brings it up to his mom, she says no, because she has to help these girls. I understand, this is a great goal in life, this is like a good thing for her to do, but she's not the only person in this camp. There are plenty of other perfects. She has like 35 perfects. There are like almost, what, 4,000 people in this camp? Can't they take over that? Why does it have to be you? I understand that need, I understand that feeling, but is that really worth your family? I think that was like the main question that was posed there, and it has me debating back and forth whether what I would do in that situation, which is like pulls on my heartstring. But you know, things happen. We finally kind of get a way to secure the girls' safety. We go with the Black Lake to go and try to find this base camp so that Alyssa can tell them where all these bad people are. So they go to the base camp. Alex finds that doctor. He does one of the most stupid and brave things. He goes up to this doctor who has a rifle pointed at him and presses the barrel of that rifle right up to his chest until she tells him where Darla is. This is the stupidest thing Alex has probably ever done. It makes me cry every time because Alex could have died, that could have been the end of it. It was just go to this new headquarters that the doctor told them where Darla was. Go there and they have this plan. Alyssa's constantly being used for bait. Just pretend to sell Alyssa so that we can get into that camp and find Darla, take her back, and then run back home to Warren. This plan's going great, and then we find out that Darla actually wasn't a part of the whorehouse at all during this because of her mechanical expertise. They were using her as a mechanic. That's so bad. It's so bad. Alex sees her working on a pickup truck and nearly has a heart attack. One of my favorite things about this book is how this part plays out. Darla sees Alex and she doesn't crumple to the floor to her knees and break down and just start sobbing and crying. She doesn't yell his name. She doesn't do anything irrationally stupid. Instead, she's like, okay, assesses the situation, takes the lockpicks that she's actually had for quite a long time but hasn't been able to use because she wasn't strong enough to like escape by herself, unlocks her change, takes a shank that she made and stabs Wolf, the leader of this gang, in the neck and kills him. That is my favorite part. That is one of the main reasons I love Darla so much. Probably almost any other fictional girl character in that situation probably would have just broken down and cried, or even after they killed the guy would have broken down and cried and like made out with that person in the middle of this freaking war zone. Did Alex and Darla do that? No. You know why? Because they understand that there is a plan. They don't have time for this right now. They have to get out first. They just like, okay, here's the problem. We have to fix it. Let's go. They get attacked by the Dirty White Boys. Alex's dad gets shot right away. But of course, this stupid cannibal gang can't let these stupid non-cannibals show them up. Of course not. They must do something completely irrational and send 3 pickup trucks after this one. So Alex's dad, who is bleeding out in the back of this UPS truck, comes up with a plan. The second most emotional scene I have ever experienced in a book. Alex's dad forces everyone out of the car so that they can supposedly transfer into this other pickup that they had stashed ahead of time. He can't get up and walk by himself, but neither can Darla. Alex's dad tells Alex's mom and Alex to help Darla out first and get her to the pickup truck. What does Alex's dad do? He shoots the propane tank so that it blows up and kills him, and along with everyone else that's been trying to attack them. This is where everyone breaks and they drive because they don't know what else to do. And they get to Worthington, and that's pretty much how the book ends. The climax scene at the end always kills me. The majority of this book We mainly only know Alex's dad as the kind of stereotypical father figure who sits at the breakfast table reading a newspaper and not really paying attention to whatever conversation's happening, who doesn't really understand Alex throughout his weird nerdiness because he wasn't really like that. And Alex and Alex's dad were finally starting to develop a good relationship during all of this. They were able to talk about things, discover things about each other they never knew before, and they finally got to this point, and then it ends because he's not around anymore. And I hate it. I hate it so much. It breaks my heart. Past all the sadder stuff, we finally get Darla fixed, kind of, in Worthington, and we head back out and we drive to Warren. Inside, because I couldn't continue the series, it was just over and I couldn't do anything. Talked about how this huge battle was going to happen because they had this whole problem with the gangs again, and it just terrified me because I could not know what was going to happen because Sunrise wasn't going to be published for another year. Be glad that most of you did not have to go through that pain. But we all have to go through that pain for Blades of Spring right now, don't we? So yay! That is it for today, guys. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to see more like it. All of my social media and stuff are in the description. I will see you guys next Monday. Bye!